now,
Yeah.
and we're going. We're all set. Yeah, but there's just so many. I mean, there's always like 30,000 people on here, and there's always someone new, always a new perspective, and you know.
Yeah, I
But
know.
so what should we call you on here? Do you want to go by your name, or do you want to go by a code name, or what would you like?
I'll just use my rap. No, actually, just use my normal name, Hamza.
Okay, and what is
Uh,
it? What is it?
Hamza.
Dude, I cannot. I have no idea. Could you
Okay,
type that in?
smoke.
Yeah, I'm like,
Go
it's
with
just
smoke. Just go with my rapper name. Yeah, go with smoke.
smoke. Hamza.
Yeah.
Hamza.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, dude, Hamza. Great. I just I just actually didn't hear you. I think.
Yeah,
So
so,
you're from Egypt, you said, huh?
yeah.
Wow. So have you lived there your whole life?
Not really. I've moved out. I've moved a lot.
Could you talk about that? Like where were you born? Where did you move? What was it like?
No, I was born in Egypt, then we moved to Dubai, then I came back to Egypt, then we moved to Qatar, then I came back to Egypt. So yeah,
Yeah, I haven't talked to anyone from Qatar yet.
yeah, I moved out a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a small country. You wouldn't find a lot of people from there, especially on here. But yeah, it's pretty. It's a cool country. You feel me? It's like I would say like a city kind of, because since it's small, everyone kind of knows everyone, like that kind of vibe. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
So, like, could you kind of
but
talk
other
about?
than
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, could you kind of talk about the differences between Qatar and Egypt?
what? Sorry, you're lagging. What?
Oh, okay. Could you kind of tell us like what the difference is between Qatar and Egypt?
I feel like with countries in the Gulf and all of that, it's kind of like not like the same as other big countries that you would usually find. It would be like more of the real world. Like you couldn't like you know what I mean. Like it's much safer in Qatar, of course. So it's not like preparing you a lot for like the real world kind of like shit. You know what I mean? But no, with Egypt, it's a bit harder. But once you get a grip in it, like if you've been living in another country, it's gonna be a bit harder to like adjust in Egypt. But once you get a grip in it, you just go normally. But other than that, I feel like it's just there. The rules are more applied. Like you know what I mean? It's like the difference between like I don't know how to explain how to put it, but like without like offending anyone. But it's kind of like there the rules are more implied. They just follow the rules. Life is simpler in Qatar. Egypt is like because it's a bigger country, more people, all of that. The rules could be broken now and then. I mean a lot, but yeah.
Hmm. And so for you, like in Egypt, like how long have you been there now? Like when did you move from Qatar to Egypt, and how do you like Egypt?
On my second year. With liking Egypt, I mean, in the beginning, I hated that shit because like it was new. I don't like change, so I really hated it. But that's the same. That's the same story with every country I move into. In the beginning, I hate it or I don't want to go there, and then I like start to like not like it. But like with Egypt, I wouldn't say like I fucking love staying here, but I would say like I adjusted to it. Like I wouldn't say I hate it. Like if you know what I mean, I'm like also trying to move to Canada soon for college and shit, and to work on my music there and all of that. So yeah, I'm just like I got used to like moving a lot, but in the beginning I hated it. Now I just like I feel like I'm adjusted to it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm cool with it.
Wow. So you said that you're interested in moving to Canada to do music.
And for college, yeah,
Wow. Could you kind of talk about that? Like, is that like moving there for rap, or is it a different kind of music?
no, it's for rap.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I was also going to comment too, like on your English. Your English is very, very good. Like, have you been learning English for your whole life, or just recently?
Yeah, my whole life. I've been listening to rap alone for almost like shit 6 years, something like. I've been listening to rap alone for like 7 years. I'd say like a rough estimate, like for 7 years. So that played a huge part into it. And then I like the things I usually watch are English. So yeah, I just like try and work harder on that, since I know like that's what it's most like. That's what a lot of people like kind of value more these days, like more than a lot of other languages. I even like in countries here, like if your English is good, that's like a good kind of like tip above everyone else. But but yeah, school definitely like kind of helped me with like the getting like just giving me a push. And then I took like if you know what I mean. I'm just using a weird example, but like they kind of like gave me the push where they taught me the basics, all of that. And then I took those basics, started watching movies, um, listening to rap at like a young age. I was like, bro, I'm yeah, like at a really young age. And yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Wow. Is your family pretty supportive of your music and the rap?
I mean, not like they don't mind it, but like I don't talk about it a lot, to be honest, because I'm starting out. Like I just started out, so I don't talk about it a lot, but they don't have a problem with it.
Interesting. Yeah. So like for you, like do you think it would be difficult to move that far away to Canada so far from your family, or is that something that you kind of want to do?
I mean, also I feel like I'm also not really that close with my family, but also my sister's also trying to move to Canada.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah,
well she would, I guess, so she would be decently close if you moved to Canada. So you'd have that kind of, I'm guessing that you're pretty close to your sister.
I mean, I'm not any like closer than any normal kind of thing. Like, yeah, I don't have a problem against them, but it's not like I can't live without them. You know what I mean? It's like I can live
Hmm.
without them. It's cool.
Hmm.
It sounds weird, but like I mean, like I can live like away from people. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I feel like it is, I I don't know. I feel like split. I feel like half the people on here, I get the sense that like family is the most important thing to them and they really want to stay close. And then the other half like is out traveling the world, and I think a big part of that actually is because you've moved away so often then come back, and you've had experience with moving, and you know that
And I
moving won't like destroy your relationship with them in the long run. Like they'll still
feel
be
like
there if you need.
finished my relationship with a lot of people, but I usually don't like getting attached to things. Like if I want to do something, I wouldn't like be like, no, I don't want to leave because of this anymore. Because then I just grew up, like I overgrew this shit. Like I wouldn't be like, oh no, I don't want to leave because of my family or my friends. Because I know if like with family I can talk to them because I know I'll never drift away from family. But with friends, I can always make new friends, and the ones I actually like, I usually like try and stay in contact with them. The ones I'm like friends but not friends, I can make new ones.
Yeah, and at least in today's world, like it's much easier to stay in touch with anyone you want to stay in touch with. Literally
Yeah,
just call them up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. With social media and everything, like I feel like staying in touch with people isn't really the biggest issue. Being homesick, I wouldn't think is like a really big issue for me anymore. But yeah,
Well, I'm also interested too in like like being in Egypt. Like, what are your thoughts of, and how does the country as a whole, like your culture, kind of look at America? Are you skeptical? Do people really like America? Do they not like America? What do you think?
I mean, now they're cool with it. Like, a lot of the things you guys do there, like it happens here because it's a trend there. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I feel that also happens in a lot of other countries. For example, like the music you guys listen to, like with rap, a lot of the popular tracks in rap that are popular in America are popular here. People listen to them. We watch American movies, so we have no problem against it, of course.
Hmm. What about like the stuff with politics? Are you kind of like, do you know much about the politics of your country or?
Politics. I don't fuck with politics. Politics out of my country, and I don't even like politics. So no.
Why? I gotta ask you.
I mean, to be honest, I think I know why. My parents were kind of like into politics hard, so that's what I grew up into. So I kind of just like got bored of it, since that's what I grew up on. My parents like watching the news and all that shit. So even my parents don't like it. Like they hated it since it's too stressful and all of that. So I just grew up with that, like kind of like, nah, that shit's too stressful, and it's just too, like it's two sides that I don't really care about. Plus, if it's a different country, I don't care about it even more. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are just very tired of all of it. Like everyone is just kind of at each other's throats and.
Probably it's just more stress for no reason. I try not to stress it. Like I barely care about a lot of things for me to care about politics.
So, like looking at the world, like what do you think are some of the things that need to be changed? Like if you were the ruler of the world, like what would you, if you had a magic wand, like what would you try to change right off the bat?
That's a good question. I mean, a lot of like the normal stuff, like racism, all that bullshit. I would try and like change how people look at like poor people who might commit petty crimes. Like how, for example, a poor person might steal something like, I'll use it in American, but a poor person could steal like $50, for example, but then there's a rich person who's selling shit that's like for example, the people that sell school books, that shit goes for a lot, like university books and school books and all that shit. Like that shit is expensive. That person is like quote unquote committing a bigger crime than that poor person, but that poor person is gonna be blamed for it and is gonna be what's the word? Hello. Is gonna be kind of like shamed for it and like
Mm,
looked down upon just because he stole $50 when there's someone way richer, way more powerful than him, doing way worse. But it just doesn't go. It's people see it as black and white.
mm, mm-hmm. That's a really interesting point. Like, do you experience a lot of? Would you consider yourself a black man, or are you Arab, or like what how would you
Just, I mean,
identify yourself?
I'm mixed between the both. I mean, like my skin is black, but I'm Arab. I feel like black isn't really a race anywhere else except America. Like no, like I'm not meaning to offend anyone. Like we don't
No,
have the
no,
kind of,
no. Yeah.
it's like African Egyptian, anything like that. Like if you're black, white, whatever, you're still like just Egyptian normally. Um, shit, what the fuck? So yeah, no, like it's not really like, it's just for me. It's like color. I still like, bro, like with anything that comes with Black Lives, anything like that, bro. I'm fully supportive of that because I don't, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, I guess the reason I'm asking that is because I'm wondering like to what extent is there racism towards you um, in your country
I,
in Egypt? Do you experience that?
I'll tell you what. I've been like, I'm like, it's not as bad as America, of course. I've never been walking out and I was scared of losing my life just because of my color. This I've never, like, I couldn't even imagine facing that problem here. But that like stupid jokes, having an argument with someone, like you would get like a few racist shots, but that's all. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to hate it. Um, but when I grew up, of course, I don't care anymore. Like I know a lot of like different black people in other countries and shit are that as like they're afraid to walk at with hoodies and shit like that because they're afraid to lose their life. So I'm not gonna like be bitch about a few racist jokes or a few like kind of like you're a slave kind of comments. Like I'll like, it doesn't really bother me anymore.
When you experience, I'm sure you experienced some racist remarks on here on Omegle, right?
Yeah, but it's stupid. It's stupid. I don't even take them seriously. They're
Yeah.
like, it's behind the screen. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna get pissed off about something I can't do nothing about. So I don't really care.
I know that stuff gets even. I guess I'll be vulnerable. I'll say well, I'm pretty sensitive to things. It's like, oh, like someone's like, oh my gosh, you look like my dad, and I'm like, okay, like why are you saying that? Like that hurts my feelings. Like, why are you trying to what are you trying to do? I always I ask them, and sometimes they're like "fuck you" and they get off, or
The
they're
reaction
just like, uh,
or niggas is just stupid. You feel me? Like the reaction is usually the reaction, or they're just stupid or like secure about themselves or some shit like that. But like, nah, like
that's what it is.
I would say just don't let that shit get you, because like, anyways, at the end of the day, they're the ones saying it behind the table, so it just doesn't really like.
My whole thought of it is that people come on here and they kind of try to get their negativity out on here with people they don't know, and like and obviously they're having a rough time of it if they're insulting random strangers on Omegle.
Yeah,
So,
because at the end of the day, if they do it at school, they could get in trouble. It's face to face. Here, I could say whatever the fuck I want to whoever the fuck I want, and I wouldn't really have that much, or I would 9 times out of 10 wouldn't have a problem with it.
mm. I eh, I think that's one of the reasons that I like to bring it up with them, because like no one else does. And like if I let them know how I actually feel about what they say, they realize that their actions actually have consequences, even if it's with a stranger, you know?
No,
Because
I
who's
mean, look,
yeah.
if you tell them like, "Yo, that hurt me," they're just gonna feed off what they want. That's what they want. They want to hurt you, so it's like kind of like you feeding them. You know what I mean?
See, I think of it differently. I think like if you say, dude, like, why are you doing that? Like that hurts my feelings, and this world is already filled with so much hate. Like, why? Why are you doing it? Like, at least like they either get mad or leave, or they actually like listen to me, which is crazy. Like,
No, look, with a troll, because at the end of the day, they're trolls. With a troll, you just gotta act like they're that for real. You just gotta like ignore them till they shut up. Because what you do when a kid is crying, you don't shout at it. You just wait for it, ignore it. If a kid's like bugging you, like, hey, 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 what are you gonna do? You're just gonna ignore it for it to like tire yourself out and shut up. Because what they're looking for is a
reaction.
reaction. So okay,
Interesting.
let me use something in the rap game, because I focus on. So someone like 6ix9ine is a troll, right?
6'9".
So yeah, sorry, you lagged
Mm-hmm.
for a second.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
someone like 6ix9ine is a troll, and then he goes at actual good rappers like Snoop Dogg and shit like that. He's just looking for a reaction just to boost himself. But then if these niggas like just shut up, don't say anything, like just let him bark, the 6ix9ine is gonna eventually shut up, and that's it. That's the end of the story. But if they keep going back and forth, who's winning? It's at the end of the day.
Mm,
I don't fuck with 6ix9ine, but it's 6ix9ine who's winning, because he has nothing to lose. He's behind the screen and he's getting the reaction he wants. I don't know if you follow rap or not, but for example, like someone called Lil Durk and 6ix9ine were like beefing and shit. Because like 6ix9ine is a snitch and Dirk is more of a street nigga kind of shit. So 6ix9ine was barking all at him. 6ix9ine, all he wanted was attention. Dirk wanted to fuck that nigga up, because like Dirk doesn't. He brought up his fucking dead cousin and shit. You feel me? But all Dirk could have just done is just be quiet and let 6ix9ine bark till he tires himself out. That's how I see it.
I think that's what a lot. Yeah, I think a lot of people do that, and I think it is effective, right? Because like, I see it as kind of a spectrum. There are three kind of responses. There's one where what they want. The trolls want people to react angrily back to them so that they can feed on it. Then there's
Yeah.
the response of like not saying anything at all, and that kind of like neutralizes the situation, which is kind of like what you're talking about. And then
Yeah.
I think my perspective is that if you respond to them, thinking about them, reacting to them in a loving way, where it's like where it's so completely not what they're expecting. People are not trolls are not expecting people to be vulnerable and loving towards them. But if you're loving towards them and ask them really why you're doing it, because like you're just what we want to do is create a more loving world. They have no idea what the fuck to say, because it's true. What they're doing is trying to feed on
Yeah,
hate
you
and
got a
feed on
point.
anger, you know? And so like approaching with love and actually questioning and actual curiosity really is the
Yeah,
way to
you
kind
got.
of neutralize them, you know?
Yeah, you got a point. I see what you what you mean, but like both of them could work. You could just be quiet and let them do their barking, and you could be nicer and just ask them why they're hurt. It just depends on what kind of person you are. If you're like just someone who doesn't care, just be quiet and leave them. If
I
you're
think
someone
that,
who's nice,
yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Yeah, I don't think there is a right way to go about it, but I think there are
give me
ways
a
that.
second.
Uh huh. You're good. I I think you froze up a little bit. Oh, there you go. I think there are ways to kind of like feed that hatred, and I would say like don't do that, but like not feeding them or kind of like you were saying. I'm just repeating what you're saying. You don't have to. There's no right way
Yeah,
about it, you know. Um,
yeah.
but yeah. But so I feel like this is a good kind of time to. So before I do, like towards the end of the interviews, I have like a bunch of different questions, but I only ask three.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
so pick three numbers between 1 and 45, and I'll ask you those questions.
Three different numbers between 1 and 45. Okay. Um, 7 and 37 and 21.
Okay. Okay. I think number 7 is the most popular number. Interesting. Okay. What is your best and worst quality?
Cool. My best quality, but that's a hard question.
Good.
I feel like both are like my worst and best. Um, okay, my best one, shit, is that like if I'm your friend, if I'm rocking with you, I'm gonna like rock with you forever. You feel me? Like not like I don't do like that fake kind of shit. Like I don't like fake for like I don't hang with someone just for like some clout or whatever. Like I don't do that shit. Like if I'm friends with you, I'll be friends with you for like a long time, and I wouldn't like I wouldn't care unless you do some dumb shit. Um, my worst qualities, I think, is like for me, I don't really uh, like to show a lot of like I don't know how to show emotion. Like I it's weird. Like I don't know how to like tell someone like yo I love you that you feel me. Like I don't know how to tell someone that, or like I usually just like know how to show the negative ones where like if I'm angry I know how to show that shit. But if I'm like yo, you feel me, like if I love someone I don't know how to like show it. I'm just like I don't know why.
Yeah. Dude, that is so awesome that you said that. Like to me that it shows like an awareness and a strength that you're even open to thinking about that. Like that's badass. I think that's truly badass, you know.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people think about that as being badass. but like to be able to
Yeah,
say it,
yeah.
it's I think a lot of people have that, and the way that you say it is really articulate, really cool.
Mhm.
Um, okay.
Wait, what? Give me a second.
All right. I am out of water. Should I get water?
Yeah.
If I leave and he comes back and I'm not here, he may leave. Oh, I'll get it from my bathroom. For everyone watching, Florida water is awful. You always have to get your water from a filter because the water actually tastes like swamp water. So if you're moving down to Florida, get a water filter immediately.
Okay, I'm back. still here. I don't know if you're still there or not. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, you're here. Yeah, what's up?
Alrighty. How you doing? Everything okay?
Yeah. They just because I didn't answer my phone.
Oh, all right. Um, okay. You ready for the next question?
Yeah, for sure.
37. What is your earliest memory?
I low key have short. I don't really remember a lot, but I don't have anything specific. If you want to go with a different question for that one, because I don't have anything specific. It's just like pictures of like just like a photo image of me just walking. You feel me? Like it's just stupid shit like that. Nothing like too specific I can think
Do
of
you
right
do
now.
you remember do you remember where you were walking or who was there?
And no, I don't remember where. I don't really remember who either. Probably I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people. I don't remember a lot now.
Oh, interesting. So that was like pretty young, you think? You think you remember back to like when you were like one and a half or something like that?
Oh no, that was like when I was 4 or 5.
Or five? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
pick a different question for that.
yeah,
Like pick any.
anyone. Okay, let's see. What's one that has not let's do 19. No one ever chooses 19.
Yep.
Oh, well, interesting. Okay. What would you like your last words to be?
Ooh, man, something that's like that would hopefully like change how people view a certain thing. Depends on what thing I wanted at the time, but like just something to like I don't know, probably like it wouldn't be something like super film. Like I want it to be something that people would remember. I wouldn't say I don't know the words right now, but if I'm describing the words, like something just that people would remember. That's something that like someone would be like, oh yeah, like yo, that's right. Like you know what I mean? Like that would he was right about that thing, or we should do that. Something that would change a certain thing that I don't like.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, words that have meaning. Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
that'll shift someone's mindset. Great.
yeah.
Great. Okay, 21. Ah, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Ah, my biggest pet peeve. Um, Let me think. 'Cause I've never really thought of my biggest pet peeve. I know there are a few. When when people just tell me I'm lying, you feel me? Like when someone's like, "Yo, that you're lying about that," when I know it's like true, that just kind of pisses me off for some reason.
Yeah, that is annoying.
Yeah,
That happened
you
to
know
me
what I
in
mean?
college so much. Like people were like, "Kenny, you're lying," and I'm like, "I'm not lying. Why?"
Yeah, I know that shit just like annoying. I don't like that.
Trust issues, I guess.
Yeah,
Hmm, interesting. I kind of want to do one more, man. Do you want to do one more?
yeah, I'm done.
All right, choose one more number.
Uh, 45.
45. All right. Wow. This is kind of getting back to the first question, actually. Interesting.
Huh?
Tell me about the first time you told someone you loved them.
And actually meant it, or just saying it like kind of.
Yeah, let's say when you felt something.
Um, Other than parents, no one. Like no one. I actually like like I like other than parents. No, like it's probably just parents. Someone, one of my friends, probably. Yeah.
Hmm. Was there a moment was there a moment that you really knew like that happened that you really recognized how much your parents loved you?
Um, no. I
No.
mean, no.
I
Let
mean
me. Is
that
that
that's honest, you know? That's honest.
no? Like I mean, I haven't had like I knew they did, but I haven't had a moment that I'm like, yo, I'm loved. You feel me? Like I haven't had that like kind of moment yet, but like I know they do, but it's just I haven't had that moment. Like bro, they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just have always known they did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't that something? It's like, for me, like, if I had to answer that question, there wouldn't be an exact moment, but like,
You just know they do.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, there was a choice that my parents had. They could have either sent me to a very bad public school, and they could have saved a lot of money, or they could have sacrificed all of their money to send me to a good school. And my parents decided to sacrifice all of the money that they could have instead of going on vacations. They sent me to a school, and and they lost out on a lot of extra money, and for me, it was a choice. It wasn't like a moment where they took a bullet for me or anything, but at least that.
I mean, because with countries like in Egypt and stuff like that, we usually try and go for the better schools. So I've took that for granted. But now that you're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's like, from because I've always been to a good school. Since countries here, like public schools are just like gonna be like really bad. Like I'm like, we go to like private schools to learn what public schools teach in America and all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So,
Are the public? So do you go to a private school?
yeah.
Like, what do you think public schools are like there? Are they known as being not really that good?
Yeah, like even a lot of like, I would say a lot of like, I'm not poor, I'm like middle class, but like even a lot of like poor people would rather spend a lot of money to go to like at least a bad public school than a bad private school than a good public school.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I had gone to that other high school, I definitely would have been very depressed, for sure. So
I've heard that public schools in America are good though.
it depends on the area. It depends,
I
like,
guess it's funded by the area you're in.
exactly. Yeah. So, like, if
Yeah.
you're from like a very rich neighborhood, your public school is gonna be pumping out a lot of people that go to Harvard and Princeton. But if you come from like a poorer area, which is where my public school would have been, no one travels out of state. Everyone kind of stays in the same area, and
Mm.
not that there's anything wrong with that, but it there's a different mindset, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
so I'm proud of the kind of the open-mindedness that my parents kind of recognized that good school could provide for me. So,
Yeah.
but dude, thank you for talking, man. It's been you're very articulate and smart, and yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
Um, do you have
Thank
any
you.
do you have any kind of like last words or advice that you'd like to give people out there?
My one advice is just to honestly just not care. Like I know it sounds weird, but just don't care about a lot of things, and your life is just gonna be way less stressful. Because I see now people be caring about the littlest things, the little, like, oh no, like even be worrying about celebrities and shit they said that like shit doesn't affect me. I just don't care about it, like, because stress and all that shit is like a really big killer that people don't talk about. Like people are gonna talk about shit that like kill you, and like the drug, like they will say, "Oh, that drugs kill you, cigarettes kill you, all that shit." Yes, they do, but also one thing that really fucking kills you, and you could add a lot to your life, is living stress free. Like living like not like living stress free and like just not worrying about a lot of things. Like just like trying just I just go with the flow. Like you feel me? Like whatever life's gonna, I just go with it and just try to make the best option out of it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's one of the biggest things that, like, in America, like, the biggest killers here are cancer and heart disease. And heart disease comes from high blood pressure, and high blood pressure comes from anxiety and
Stress.
stress. And
And same thing with cancer. So cancer also comes from like stress and like depression and all that shit. So I feel like with stress, it's crazy how people be stressing about the worst shit. And it's like even with school and shit like that, I just try and go with the flow. Like we had electives a few, we had to choose our electives a few like a week ago or something, and people were like worrying because the school put the electives in a weird place. I was just like, I don't care. And then when it was time to come for the when it was time to pick out my electives, I just picked the best options that would fit the college, and then I said I'll see the rest for next year, and that's how I just go with shit. Just I don't care. That's
Yeah.
just the vibe. Just
Yeah, and
have
you're a human being. You can only do so much, and if you
yeah.
try to do too much, you're not going to do those things with your heart, with all of your attention and energy, and that's
Yeah,
the
and
stuff that's meaningful.
one thing I want to like also tell people is like, if you're trying to be anything, let's say a photographer, anything like a doctor, just try and have fun with what you're doing, because that makes the process of it. It doesn't make the process like work. It just makes it like, oh, yo, I'm having fun. So then when you do it, then you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I did it without even noticing.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Those are
that's
wise words, dude.
yeah.
Wise words, man. Very cool. Well, I'm gonna post this video. It'll probably take 5 to 10, 15 minutes to upload, and
Yeah, but, let me say, oh shit, I forgot to subscribe. Okay, I
yeah, make sure to
so
subscribe.
subscribe.
Yeah, so you can see it pop up. And that's it, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ever want to talk again, I've got my email there. Okay.
Yeah, bet. I'm gonna go eat now.
All right, man.
See you
See you
soon.
later, dude. Bye.
Bye.